Hello there. I'm getting ready to start our crochet prayer shawl. I've actually already started one over here. I love how it's looking. But I wanted to show you how to do the stitch because it's a little bit confusing to understand the written instructions here. Bernat Satin Crochet Prayer Shawl. It's a free pattern on the Yarnspirations website, yarnspirations.com. Just look for Crochet Prayer Shawl and you'll see it right there. So, using a size I, 5.5mm hook. Instructions, beginning at point. When it says beg at point, that means you're starting at the bottom of the shawl and you're going to be working up and getting bigger. So, this is chain 5. So make your little slip knot. Hook it on your hook and chain 5. 1. Make sure to keep the chains loose. Don't make them too tight. 2, 3, 4, 5. Ta-da! And there's my chain 5. Now it says first row will be your right side. That's why it says RS. They're just letting you know that from this point on, this is your right side. Yarn over hook and draw up a loop. Yarn over and draw through 2 loops on the hook 3 times in the 5th chain from the hook. So every bit of that stuff that I just said is just one stitch. So yarn over and draw up a loop, yarn over and draw through 2 loops on the hook 3 times. Everything in the parentheses in the 5th chain from the hook. So you and I know that we just did 5 chains. So the 5th chain from the hook is the first chain we worked. So that's where we're going. We're going to that chain right there. Or the first chain. I'm going to pull this skein of Bernat Satin out of the way. Goodbye, Bernat Satin. Bye. See you later. I know I'm wacky. Alright. Yarn over hook. And drop a loop. So we're going to go into the 5th chain here. I'm going to drop a loop. There. Now, yarn over hook and draw through 2 loops on the hook. There. Now it says do that 3 times in the 5th chain from the hook. So that means yarn over and drop a loop, yarn over, draw it through 2, yarn over, drop a loop, yarn over, draw it through 2. Okay, so I did it 3 times. Now yarn over hook and draw through all the loops on the hook. Ta-da! Now, if you look at your instructions, it says cluster made. That was a cluster that we just did. So I'm going to show you one more time. Okay. Now, I think I'm going to work under 2 loops instead of under 1 because I didn't like how that was starting to get wiggly on me. I'm going to go under 2 loops like that when I work this time. So it's a little bit more secure. Makes me feel safer. It's not going to come undone. Alright. So, yarn over hook. So we're doing that first row again, right side. Yarn over hook. I'm going to underneath 2 loops. I think I'm going to like the way it works better. Drop a loop. Yarn over hook. Pull up through 2. Yarn over hook. And drop a loop. Yarn over hook. Pull up through 2. That was the second one. Yarn over hook. There. Drop a loop. Yarn over hook. Draw it through 2. There. Now I've got 4 on the hook, and I'm going to yarn it over and drop through all the loops on the hook. Cluster made. So there's the cluster. And I do like the way it looks better when I did it under 2 loops. 2 strands, I mean. So that was the first cluster. Now it says chain 2, chain 2, and 1 double crochet in the same chain. So that means the same chain that you worked in before. So come down here, and we're going to do a double crochet. There. That's the first row. So it looks kind of wonky, but that is the first row. Now turn to everything. Never mind. Not gonna sing that. All right. Now we're on the second row, and now we're on the wrong side. It doesn't say that, but it's just obvious because the first row was the right side. Now we're on the second row. We're on the wrong side. So chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Cluster in the first chain 2 space. So your chain 2 space is right here. It's that space where we work the 2 chains in the last row. So we're going to do the cluster. Yarn over, drop a loop, yarn over, drop through 2. 1, yarn over, drop a loop, yarn over, drop through 3. 2, yarn over, drop a loop, yarn over, drop through 2. 3. Then we yarn over and pull it through all 4. There's a cluster. Da 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 da. Then it says chain 1. Chain 1. Now it says 1 single crochet, chain 3, cluster, chain 2, 1 double crochet in the turning chain space. So when they're talking about the turning chain space, they're talking about this space way over here at the end. When you first made those long time ago, when we first cast on and we made those 5 chains, remember? That's the turning chain space, way over there. So it looks like you're doing something wrong here to go over into that space, but this is what we're supposed to do. You do 1 single crochet there. So see how it twists the stuff around? Trust the pattern. It's all right. Chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Now it says work a cluster. So to do a cluster, we yarn over, drop a loop, yarn over, pull it through 2, yarn over, drop a loop, yarn over, pull it through 2, yarn over, drop a loop, yarn over, pull it through 2. And then we have 4, yarn over, pull it through all 4. There's our cluster. Now chain 2. 1, I did it wrong. 1, 2. Then we do a double crochet in the turning chain space. So it's in the same space that you just worked that cluster in. There. So now, in our first row we had 1 cluster. In our second row we have 2 clusters. So each row you're going to have another cluster. So that was the end of the second row. So now it says turn. So you turn it again. Third row, chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now we're on the right side. So if you want, you could put a pin here or something to help you remember that you're on the right side now. But like I said, the fabric that you're making is reversible, so it really doesn't matter which side is the right side. They're exactly the same on both sides. But the edging is what will tell you right along here. If you finish yours later, you'll look and you'll see the edging, which side is the right side. That's the right side. You can tell by looking at it. And then the wrong side's back there. But if you want to, you can put a pin here right now. So now we're on the third row. We just did our chain 4. It says to do a cluster in the first chain 2 space right there. So here's our cluster. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull it through 2. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull it through 2. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull it through 2. Then yarn over and pull it through all 4. So there's our cluster. Chain 1. 1 chain. Now it says 1 single crochet, chain 3, cluster in the next chain 3 space. So right over here is chain 3 space. So we're going to go into there. We're going to do a single crochet. We're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and we're going to cluster. Yarn over, drop a loop. Yarn over, pull it through 2. Yarn over, drop a loop. Yarn over, pull it through 2. Yarn over, drop a loop. Yarn over, pull it through 2. You have 4 on the hook. Yarn over, pull it through all 4. There's your cluster. Now, chain 1. Now we need to do single crochet, chain 3, cluster, chain 2, 1 double crochet in the turning chain space, which is way over here. So go to the end, go into that space, do your single crochet, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, cluster, yarn over, drop a loop, yarn over, pull it through 2, yarn over, drop a loop, yarn over, pull it through 2, yarn over, drop a loop, yarn over, pull it through 2, yarn over, pull it through all 4. There's your cluster, chain 2, 1, 2, and 1 double crochet in the turning chain space. Right there in that same space you just worked that cluster in. So then it says turn. And now we should have 3 clusters. 1, 2, 3. We do. So the first row had 1 cluster. The second row had 2 clusters. And the third row has 3 clusters. So each row you're going to get 1 more cluster. Now we're on to the 4th row. Chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're on the wrong side again, it says. I don't know. To me, they both look the same. Cluster in the first chain 2 space. All right, here's the space. We're going to do a cluster. There's my cluster. Chain 1. Now we go here to this next chain 3 space. We'll do a single crochet, chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Did I do my chain 1 back there? I don't remember. I need to go back. I don't think I did. Did I? Is that a chain? Yeah, it is. I did do a chain. I can let my anxiety go. And single crochet. 1, 2, 3. Cluster. Pull it through all 4. Then chain 1. Then it repeat from the asterisk. The asterisk is just starting here at the next set. The next little loop thing here. You do a single crochet, chain 3, 1, 2, 3. We do our cluster. And then we chain 1. It says you repeat that until you get to the last turning chain space. So now we're at the last turning chain space. Plus, remember how we're going to get one larger each time? So 1, 2, 3. Now we're ready for our 4th one, and the 4th one's going to go in the turning chain at the end. So in the end turning chain space, we do 1 single crochet, chain 3. We do a cluster. And we do chain 2, and we do a double crochet in that same spot, that same turning chain space. Ta-da! So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4 clusters. The row before we had 3, and the row before we had 2, and the row before we just had 1. So every row you add another cluster, and it keeps getting wider and wider. So now we turn. And it says repeat the last row until there are 61 clusters in the row. So you're just going to keep getting bigger and bigger each row. You're going to do more. So row 4 is what you'll be repeating now. Chain 4, 2, 3, 4. And after a while you just start to get a flow and you'll be able to work it without even thinking. Because I was able to sit in a sports bar the other day and work on mine while I was talking to friends and watching a football game, and I didn't miss a single stitch. So it's easy to just do it. Single crochet, chain 3, and we do a cluster. Chain 1, go over here to the next little loopy thing. 1, 2, 3, do a cluster. Chain 1, the next little thing, single crochet, 1, 2, 3, cluster. 1, 2, 3, there's my cluster, chain 1. Now I'm at the end, so I'll do my single crochet, 1, 2, 3, now I'll do my cluster, 2, 3, pull it through. Now I'll do chain 2 and a double crochet at the end. So it's the same thing over and over, and then at the very end you just do the chain 2 and the double crochet. So now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's how to make this pattern. I hope you enjoy making your crochet prayer shawl as much as I do. I'm really enjoying it. I love how soft it is with this Bernat satin yarn. It's going to be hand washable, machine washable, machine dryable, and it'll make a good gift as a prayer shawl to a friend who's going through a difficult time. Or you could just use it as a gift for a family member at Christmas or birthday or anniversary or Mother's Day. It would work for all kinds of things. And you could make it in a, there are some other patterns online that are not quite as lacy as this. You can make a prayer shawl or a care shawl, whatever you want to call it, for a male that is not does not like lace. You might want to pick a different design and just use a more masculine color. So anyway, that's the crochet prayer shawl pattern, and I hope that I helped you to understand how to work it. If I need to make another video, let me know and I'll do it slower. Talk to you later. Bye.